Around a year and a half ago, I started getting these creepy notes slid under the door of my dorm room. I call up campus police, and they say that while the content is a bit off, there's nothing threatening about telling someone they're pretty and mentioning that they see them around a lot. 18-year-old me agrees, mostly out of stupidity, and goes back to my first year of college life. The notes don't stop, but they don't really escalate either. For unrelated reasons, my roommate goes nuts and kicks me out of the room, and I find myself in a new area of the dorms for the rest of the semester. The notes stop, and I'm happy, for the meantime. I come back the next year, and within 3 weeks, I'm getting notes again. They're the same sort of content, and I report it to the police and try to continue with my life. Campus police doesn't do anything, and I start descending into paranoia. Normal, I'm being stalked behavior. The notes escalate. I start being referred to as property. The notes forbid me from speaking to my friends. I'm getting scared, and instead of helping me, campus police tells me that until this person's ID'd, there's nothing they can do. Fast forward a few months. I'm out in the evening, and someone tries to grab me. I'm severely hard of hearing, so I don't hear them approach, and I scream. The person runs away, and I'm so stunned that I don't really see them. Fast forward another month. I've left my room to grab something from the library, literally 100 meters from the building. On the way back, I'm tackled and the guy tries to rape me. I fight, but he's bigger than me. I scream. He punches me. I knee him in the chest. He rolls off me, and I run. I run faster than I've ever run. Now, you might be thinking that's the crazy part, but hold on, that's still coming. I go to campus police and am told not to tell anyone what happened, under the guise that it'll stress out the other students if they know what happened. The college then starts trying to cover up the case. A couple weeks go by, campus police wants to talk with me. Apparently, they caught a guy trying to rape another girl. This turned out to be the same guy that attacked me. I felt much safer after that, and my life went back to normal after some time.
I moved back to my hometown not too long ago and reconnected with an old friend. Her brother got out of prison around the same time. I went to visit her family, and he was there. The visit goes great for the exception that her brother will not stop staring at me. Don't think too much about it. I'm accustomed to creepers and figure I've known the family since I was a teenager many moons ago. I think I'm creeped out over nothing. Wrong. Fast forward a few months. Same friend and I go to a show. We had a bit of car trouble before getting there. My friend's brother happens to be there with his friends. He begins by making lewd comments to me and spends the entire night trying to get uncomfortably close to me. I use his sister as a human shield. After the show, I get separated from my friend due to the crowd. Her brother, however, finds me right away and insists that his sister told him to give me a ride since her car is acting wonky. I refuse, and he is trying to pull me towards his car. Or a dark alley, who knows. I yell for him to let me go and grab the attention of some nearby good guys who come to my aid. When my friend finally finds me, I tell her what happened. She lets me know she never told him to give me a ride. 2 weeks later, I begin to get texts from her phone. Sexually suggestive texts. I love my friend, but I'm pretty sure she doesn't want to see me naked wrapped around her like some of the messages suggest. I call her mother's landline. She asks if I have seen her daughter's phone as it's missing. I tell her I got some texts from it. She says she will call me back. Okay. In the meantime, I figure out it's her brother, as he won't stop texting and finally calls. I'm in your neighborhood. I'm coming over, and you better let me in. No, thank you, sir. I call his mom back and let her know what is going on. Look out my window, and there is his car parked across the street. It's still running. He's just sitting there, and I can see him talking on the phone. It looks like he is screaming. In the meantime, a police car happens to drive by. He takes off ASAP. His mom calls me back, apologizes for her son's behavior, and tells me he won't be bothering me ever again. He hasn't since. when I first moved into a new place in a new town. I had left home one evening and accidentally left my garage door open. I texted husband to tell him so he could go home and close it. He gets there and tells me it's not open. That's strange, but okay. The next day I'm taking my trash out and my neighbor was outside. He introduced himself and told me that the night before he noticed me leaving and I left my garage door open. So he went inside and closed it, and let himself out through the front door, only locking the doorknob lock. Then he sent me a Facebook friend request. I'm assuming he looked at mail on my counter to find out my full name. After this, he wrote me poems and taped them to my door, left gifts on the front porch, made crazy Facebook posts about a woman he was in love with who was forbidden. I'm married. One Saturday night, I came home really late, and I was finishing my cigarette outside of my garage before going in. He was sitting outside in a chair, blistering drunk. He approached me and started talking about someone named George. I had no idea what he was going on about and confused. I asked him if he had company. He walked into the garage and came out with a box containing George. George was his stepdad, and he was dead. The ashes were in the box. He caught wind of a trip I was going on via Facebook and invited himself along. I politely explained that I'm married, and all of his wacky behavior was unacceptable. A few days later, I had gone on a walk with my husband, and we left through the garage, leaving the door open. He messaged me on Facebook and told me he left a gift for me in my garage. When I got back, I found a bunch of camping gear inside of a giant Easter egg. After I got back from the trip, he showed up at our door at midnight, drunk, and banging on the door. We called the police, and he was taken for assault on police officers. We moved eventually and never saw this man again.
A little backstory. I'm a 20-year-old, short, petite female working at Subway, and I can't help but be nice to anyone even if they creep me out. I feel bad usually. About a year ago, we had this guy, 35, 40 years old, who would come in every day for lunch. He was fascinated by my stretched ears and few piercings I had on my face, and always asked questions. He would sit down after I rang him out and watch me from his table for 2 hours, non-stop just staring at me while I helped other customers. This goes on for about 2 weeks. Every day he would ask for my number, saying he has plugs and tunnels he wants to give me and see me wearing them in my ears, and I always politely declined. One day, I'm alone in the store because my manager had to run to the bank. We were really slow that day, so I was just in the back room messing around on my phone. I heard the door chime, looked up, and yet no one was there. Then I saw the man walk past the front of the store really quickly, like he was in a hurry. The store phone rings. Me. Thanks for calling Subway. How can I help you? Him. This is the girl with the nice ears, isn't it? Me. Yes? Who is this? Him. Are you alone in the back room right now? Are you working by yourself? At this point, I really got creeped out and knew it was him. I hung up and texted my manager the situation so she would hurry back. He called again, this time asking me very weird questions, like what I would do with him in a room with the door locked, if I had a boyfriend, why I was playing hard to get, etc. My manager gets back and I tell her everything. In the middle of the lunch rush, he calls again. This time my manager answers, and to this day, she never told me what he said, but the look on her face made my spine shiver. She told him if he called again or showed up here, she would call the police. I thought that was the end of it, but alas, I was wrong. 1 week later, I'm clocking out and getting ready to walk to my car parked in the front, and when I look outside, I see him standing by my car and looking inside of it. I was an idiot and left a back door unlocked. I watched him crawl inside and shut the door. The creep was trying to hide in my back seat and do God knows what to me when I got in. My manager locked the front door of our store and called the police. When they arrived, they had to pretty much drag him out of my car, and he was arrested. On him was a butcher knife, rope, and a rag with chloroform on it. If I hadn't looked up when I did, I would probably be dead right now. I moved to another state for college. I still think about that traumatic time in my life.